a central thesis of the book is one that sort of Putin and his close allies from the KGB, who he brought with him to power, sort of never shared this Soviet mentality, that they continued to see the West as the main adversary. Perhaps Putin had harbored some hopes early in his presidency of a close working relationship with the West, but he was soon disappointed in that. There has to be a closer look at kind of Russia's influence in Finland today. So I hope very much sort of Putin's people will kind of help people become more aware of how the Putin regime operates. Some of the kind of characters in the book have established long and deep roots into Finland themselves. Some of them are billionaires who are very close to Vladimir Putin. You will remember probably Gennady Timchenko, who is one of Putin's closest allies since the early years of St. Petersburg, and according to some associates, even before, when he was working in the KGB. And then you also have, of course, another very close Putin ally in Boris Rotenberg and his son Roman Rotenberg, both of whom spent a long period of time in Finland in the 90s. They have Finnish citizenship. Putin's time in Dresden was really a very kind of formative period for him. It was really a training ground for everything that was happened later. Putin, according to this former Red Army faction member, was meeting with the Red Army faction members. Dresden was a very important hub for these type of meetings because it was very far away from where the West had concentrated its powers in East Berlin. No one really cared what was happening in Dresden because everyone believed it was such a backwater. But this is precisely why it was chosen for such clandestine meetings. And we also know from a Stasi agent who worked with Putin in those years that he was using compromising information to entrap scientists there into handing over material on an untraceable poison that Putin apparently wanted to get his hands on. Once Putin had obtained a critical mass of control over the country's strategic cash flows, he was then able to resurrect influence networks and use the country's billionaires and black cash to really expand Russian influence on the global stage. The Soviet KGB believed it had recruited Trump essentially as an agent of influence back in 1987 when he made his first trip to Moscow. Whether Trump was aware of this or not, that's another question. But what he did become was through his Trump organization, the real estate development projects that sort of some of these Russian money men then went on to work with him on, he became a very convenient channel for laundering Russian black cash into the West. And I'm not sure they ever, in their wildest dreams, that believed that Trump was going to be their Manchurian candidate, that he was going to be a sleeper agent over decades who was going to one day rise to the US presidency.